For nearly every Republican presidential hopeful, the road to the White House starts here. That's right. Since the 1970s, this Midwestern state has started the campaign season, with Iowans the first to pick their favorite candidate in the primaries. We're still more than a year out from the 2024 election, but things are already kicking off. A who's who of Republican hopefuls have flocked to the Hawkeye State in recent weeks. Nikki Haley, Tim Scott, and Mike Pence have all gone on the charm offensive, hoping to get an early advantage. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis stopped by ahead of a widely expected presidential campaign. Even former U.S. President Donald Trump showed up after announcing he'll run for office again. We've come to Iowa to try and figure out just how popular Donald Trump still is within the Republican Party, and whether he has any chance of winning the party's 2024 presidential nomination.
In 2020, I would have crawled over broken glass to vote for Donald Trump, but I guess I'm just done with him, maybe?
I love Trump. I voted for him in both elections, but unfortunately I just think his time has passed.
So far, Trump has a big advantage in the polls. A recent survey showed a 55% backing for the former president, but we met Dylan Engelbrecht, an Iowa native and student living in the state's capital, who thinks the Republican Party needs a refresh.
I think it's just time as Republicans to start electing younger leaders. We already see Nikki Haley, her background as governor of South Carolina and then UN ambassador. She will provide lots of really good experience. I think the same goes for Senator Tim Scott.
Engelbrecht voted for Trump in 2020, but won't be doing the same next year.
I think he was a very divisive candidate. You see that with the events surrounding January 6th or, Twitter or any, pick your issue.
Well, some people may be ready to move on from Trump. Others are not so keen. Trump won Iowa with 53% of the vote in 2020, and it's been trending red ever since Democrats lost the state in 2016.
There's been a shift in the Democratic Party's policy positions, particularly aiming more towards a younger demographic and really highlighting the concerns of people of color in the party. States like Iowa, we have historically had an agricultural and manufacturing base. Rural areas have really been hollowed out. And so there are a lot of people across those rural areas who don't connect to the national party brand of the Democrats right now. The Republicans have really done a great job of harnessing the energy of rural white voters.
And as in much of the rest of the country, Trump still has mass appeal for the Republican Party's base.
I think there are a lot of things that he does that turn a lot of Republican voters off across Iowa and across the country. But for his hardcore base, for his 30% base, I think they're ride or die Donald Trump at this point.
Trump really seemed to tap into that voter bloc of the blue-collar worker. Obviously, he still has a bunch of support.
It remains to be seen who will ultimately win in Iowa, but campaign season is clearly getting underway. And as polling suggests, Trump remains the man to beat. As challengers fight for recognition and support, the former president's hardcore base may be his ticket back to Washington, or at least the Republican nomination.